Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to look at the 20 most popular champions inside the game, meaning champions that people are trying to invest in, trying to upgrade, trying to look up their masteries. I reached out to the owner of Ayumilove, and basically a great website for Raid Shadow Legends, by the way. We reference it all the time here on the channel. And I asked straight up, what are the 20 most searched champions on your website? And he was kind enough to provide it to me, so that's what we're going to go through. Some of these champions suck. Some of these champions are God tier. Surprise, surprise. Can you guys guess the top 5? I probably would get, I would at least get 3, maybe 4, certainly not all 5 of them. Anyway, we're gonna start with number 20. So number 20 is, really just gotta rub it in right in the beginning of the video. It's Deke! Deke and Armstrong. My most wanted epic champion. My most wanted, yeah, epic champion. I'm not gonna go that far and say my most wanted overall champion, because there are some void legendaries. But he has the leech on the A1, he has the AoE defense breaker, and then he has the extra turn meter fill, turn meter depletion on a 3-turn cooldown. You guys know I love this dude. He has a speed in all battles. Shame on you, everybody who's searching how to build him, because that means you have him, and that means I am very jealous. Deke! Deke! Oh! Okay, Deke! Oh! It's Deke. It has to, Galcut again! What do I need to do to pull this freaking epic champion?
I'm fine now.
Alright, so number 19 is actually going to be another one of my more favorite and new additions to the game. It's Rector Droth. So Rector Droth comes in at number 19. On his A1, he has a decreased attack. On his A2, he has an AoE heal.
I can tell you've got a lot to learn about women.
On a 4-turn cooldown, with the perfect veil on 2 allies with, for 2 turns on allies with full HP after his heal, and then puts a continuous heal buff for 1 turn instead on allies who have less than 100% HP. A great healer. And when I say great, I mean great. This guy is one of the best healers in, I always call him a guy. This chick is one of the best healers inside the whole freaking game, guys. All right, also has a revival on that kit. Just a very good champion. Also has a passive heal on allies under veil or perfect veil. Really good champion, number 19. Number 18, we're staying here in Knight's Revenant in Senesha. I was actually kind of surprised on this one. I wasn't aware I know that she was popular. Wasn't aware that she was top 20 most popular. On the A1 has an AoE, places an extra hit on enemies with less than 50% HP. On the A2, puts target skills on cooldown and heals the ally with lowest HP by 25%. I leaned so heavily on Senesha. I'm sure a lot of people did for Knight's Revenant Faction Wars, man. She was key. I put her in a stun set along with Skullcrown, so having them both stunning on their AoE A1s was very helpful to help me get through the waves. And then equalizes the HP of all allies is a really good heal as well, basically taking them all up to the highest HP. She's a really good healer, really good champion overall in Senesha. Number 17 does not surprise me. I might have put him at, I might have guessed he would be maybe top 10, top 5. It's Stag Knight. So Stag Knight, of course, known for not only his decreased speed on his A1, which you love to see, not only his very unique passive with increased accuracy every time an ally's debuffs are blocked, but also having the decreased attack and decreased defense on the same 3-turn cooldown AoE with a lot of speed and a lot of HP on this kit as well. Stag Knight certainly a class act. Next up is going to be, this is number 16. This one is not a surprise, and it's our first legendary on the list, and it's Razzin Scarhide, because he is the forever fusion inside this game. So a lot of people obviously fusing him and then looking up to see how to build him. So on his A1, he has a 3-time hitter, a great champion because his damage is based on defense. He has a great kit overall, and of course he's a good with Giant Slayer Mastery as a tier 6 option. He has a single target decreased defense and weaken on a 3-turn cooldown, great against bosses, clan boss included, and then has an AoE with decreased turn meter by 100% on a 6-turn cooldown, a great opening move for the arena, or a great against any waves of mobs anywhere, or against bosses who are prone to turn meter depletion. Has resist in arena battles by 90, which is, I believe, second best in the game next to Lydia, the Death Siren. So very good champion overall. No surprise to see him there. Hey, we just mentioned her. Number 15 on the list is Skullcrown. Skullcrown is one of the most popular nukers inside the game. No surprise. Again, I love her in a stun set, getting extra utility. We're talking outside the arena, or I love her in, you know, any set, right? Any set, Savage Gear, I guess, for the arena, right? An AoE on the A1, extra hit if the target has more than 50% HP, and AoE on the A2 as well. Great in dungeons, great against waves, great against Spider, great in the arena because she has the arena aura of speed in arena battles by 23%, and she has that nasty unkillable passive. So that is Skullcrown. Number 14. Well, I said there was going to be some awful ones. Maybe some of you guys were like, okay, where's all the awful champions? Not Zargala. Shame on me. Not Bonekeeper. Shame on me. Shaman. There we go. They all look kind of alike in their avatars, no? Maybe I'm just old. Shaman, number 14. She sucks, but she's one of the free champions that you get early on, so there's no, you know, no doubt why people are actually looking up how to build her. I feel bad for those people. I think she's definitely a passable champion. I don't think anybody should build her. I would never, ever build her, even on my free-to-play account. Revive an ally on a 5-turn cooldown with a little shield on them. It's not enough. I mean, the one thing I will say though is her base stats are really good, right? I guess, right? Her damage is based on attack. Her attack's okay. She doesn't put out a lot of damage. She has solid defense and she's pretty fast, but she's not worth building in my opinion. What about you guys? You think I'm wrong? I'm talking even early game. I don't think she's worth building. I think that you can invest in better champions, plenty better champions than Shaman. Yeah, even on my free to play, when I got her, I think I used her for food, honestly. I think that's how bad she is.
Haven't you had enough?
All right, number 13 is our second legendary champion. Any guesses? That's right, it's Arbiter. So Arbiter obviously is the final reward in this game for the missions. Very fast champion, one of the quintessential kind of faces of Raid Shadow Legends. She has an AoE decreased duration of enemy buffs, which actually helps against like Skullcrown in the arena, right? Get that unkillable off of her. I know I've done that probably hundreds of times over the years. And then we have a 2-time hitter with a weaken on the A1. We have this great increased attack, fill turn meter by 30%, and then heals all allies by 25% of their max HP. It's funny, you almost forget about this heal on this ability because you're so used to doing it as an opening move inside the arena, if you're anything like me, right? And then we have a revive all dead allies at 35% HP, fills their turn meter of all allies by 20%, grants an extra turn to this champion if an ally was successfully revived. So a great revival on a 5-turn cooldown. Arbiter is still one of the top 20 champions inside the game, and she's one of the old school champions. Number 12 is going to be actually our very first uncommon champion. Any guesses? That's right, of course, it's Armager, guys. So Armager, you know, he did get a nerf on both of his abilities, right? Decreased turn meter has been nerfed in, you know, level 21 to 25 dungeons, and also against Doom Tower bosses. Same thing with enemy max HP skills. However, with all that said, he's still a class act, especially in terms of uncommon champions. Very popular champion. He's great for progression. He's just a great uncommon champion. His damage is based off of defense. He has turn meter, as we talked about, and this is on a two turn cooldown. Two-turn cooldown on the enemy max HP that deals a decent amount of damage, right? It's no Coldheart, but still, it's very, very good. Certainly the best uncommon champion in the game. I still think that stands today. Second favorite uncommon, who would it be, guys? I think I would go Shield Guard. I think that really, to me, it's Armager and Shield Guard. You could give a nod to like Saurus and Zephyr Sniper, and who else is there? Who else is there worth building? Anyway, that's Armager, excuse me. Number 11 is going to be another Knight Revenant champion, or Knights Revenant champion. Always forget the plural on the Knights. Miscreated Monster. So Miscreated Monster, I mean, again, one of the better epics in the conversation for best epic in the game. So again, no surprise there. His damage is based on HP. He has a lot of it. On the A2, he has an AoE stun. Also a shield. Man, you love to see that on a 3-turn cooldown. You have the ally protect. You have the heal and continuous heal on himself as well. A great support champion, a great control champion as well. He really brings a lot to the table, along with his passive Spooky Groan, which places a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff. which is really good. And it's not under only his ally protection buffs, not, miscreated monsters, it's any ally protection. So if you have 2 ally protects on the team, you're going to be landing even more fears. It's kind of a nice synergy that people want to talk about a lot on miscreated monster. Has HP in arena battles, kind of whatever there. No one really uses HP in the current meta. Number 10 is going to be a rare champion. And she's going to be an Undead Horde rare champion. And there she is. It's Frozen Banshee. One of the better rares they've added to the game in the last, forever, right? Basically, right? So she's number 10 most searched for champion, by the way. On the A1, she has the poison for 2 turns if they're under poison sensitivity. The good news is she is the only rare champion. Maybe it's changed now, but I think she's still the only rare that has poison sensitivity inside her kit. And it's a 100% chance of landing it on a 3-turn cooldown. Everything that you could want and more for a clan boss rare champion. A lot of people still use her for clan boss. I think that Plarium, I've mentioned this a few times now, but not to belabor the point, I think that Plarium should add more champions like Frozen Banshee to the game. Number 9 is another Knights Revenant champion. It is Doom Priest. Doom Priest is another very unique champion. Basically, we're not even going to go over her kit, just going to talk about her passive. Heals all allies by 7.5% of their HP and removes 1 random debuff from them at the start of this champion's turn. I'll include a guide for you guys in the show notes below, but we built her out in Relentless gear, in Shield gear, tried her out, compared those kind of runs, and, needless to say, no matter how you're building this champion, she's going to provide a ton of utility, especially with that cleanse in Doom Tower, right? I mean, her use rates were already fairly high, but I'm sure they skyrocketed thanks to the advent of Doom Tower. Coming in at number 8 is going to be a high elf here, and we're getting into the starting champions here. Elhain is actually, oh man, what a bummer. Galek is not on the list. He doesn't make the list, man. That sucks. Poor Galek. Certainly the worst, at least according to you guys, out of all the starting champions. I would tend to agree. So she has the lightning arrow, attacks 1 enemy, then all enemies, which you really like to see. And then that's a 4-turn cooldown. She also has the Valley of Death, a great nuke ability, attacks all enemies 2 times. She also has a little bit more HP than the other starting champions, and she's very fast at a 107 speed. So she's definitely the more, I guess, traditional nuker out of all the starting champions. Nice to see Elhain on there. Again, no real surprise there either. Coming in at number 7 is going to be none other than War Maiden, a champion that you can get for free just from the campaign farming. And she is a champion that I did invest in on my free-to-play account for a good reason. She actually deals a lot of damage, nice multipliers on her kit, and she's a Force Affinity free champion, farmable champion, easy to book, easy to upgrade, easy to get, deals a lot of damage, and has the consistent 100% chance of landing the decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. You can't say that about any other rare champions in the game. The closest to it is Dagger, I believe, which is 75% on a Void rare champion. Dagger sadly does not make the list. Moving into number 7. So number 7 is going to be the other one of the starting champions, Aethel. So Aethel is 7th most popular, actually 6th most popular champion. Way to go, Aethel. She's a great campaign farmer because she has this ability that grants an extra turn as well, so she can get into her A2, her nuke, more often than the other starting champions. She can actually be underrated for that same reason. We always talk about here on the channel that gains an extra turn is really magic to your ears because it's reducing the cooldowns of your other skills. She has a hard-hitting Divine Blades on her A2, and on the A1, it's a Giant Slayer mastery ability with a 3-time hitter and the Weaken, the big version of Weaken at a consistent 100% land rate. So Aethel is definitely a very, very solid champion. We're moving into the top 5 here, guys, and going back to the beginning of the video, I asked you, how many do you think you can name? All right, now it's the moment of truth. Number 5 was the one I wouldn't have gotten. It's High Katun. I mean, it's no surprise. She is a daily log and reward champion, but I was just surprised. For me, it was a surprise to see her in the top 5. So High Katun, on the A1, she has a decreased speed. On the A2, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% and places an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, very similar to Apothecary's A3 boon of speed. On A3, Shamanic Lightning, an AoE attack, and then has a 75% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 15% on all enemies enemies on a 4-turn cooldown. She's all about speed, right? She's bringing speed to your team, increased speed, increased turn meter, and she's decreasing the turn meter of the opponents. It's no wonder that she's a very popular choice. She's definitely a champion worth building, especially if you don't pull Apothecary. I did not build her on my free-to-play for that very reason. I had Apothecary. I felt like I was pretty much covered there, even though it is a magic and spirit affinity difference on those champions. Number 4, we can stay right here in Barbarians. There it is, my girl, your girl, so on the A1, she has the decreased speed. On the A2, she has the AoE stun. Love that stun. Love the decreased speed, often overlooked inside her kit. Love to have that. Love to have the 40% chance of landing that. Heck, you can make it 45 if you grab the Sniper Mastery and the support tree of Masteries. And then we have the Revival with the Ally Protect on a 4-turn cooldown. And then we have the heals all allies by 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. Also has an increased speed buff on a random ally for 2 turns. What a great passive, what a great kit, what a great CC champion, what a great addition to the game. What a champion. Scylla Drake, she should be number 1. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm sure you can guess who number 1 is. The real face of Raid Shadow Legends. Soon it will be Scylla Drake. Soon, like 5 years or never.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
Next up, number 3 is Coldheart. Coldheart has Heartseeker, decreases turn meter by 100%, has an extra 30% chance to land a critical hit, and damage increases according to enemy max HP, all the way up to millions of damage, outside of Doom Tower and level 21 to 25 dungeons, where she got the nerf. But definitely, in my opinion, her and Reliquary Tender are the best rare champions in the game. Yeah, I know some of you will say Kale or whatever, but I think to me, an Apothecary, there's other champions in the game as you scale who can do what Kale and Apothecary do. There's no one in the game who can do what Coldheart does, and very few who can do what Reliquary Tender, who did not make the list. Shame on you guys. And if you disagree with me, let's have a friendly debate in the comments below. All right, number 2 is going to be, well, we just mentioned him. Here he is, Apothecary. So you guys, you're showing me, right? He has the great heal on a 2-turn cooldown on Soothing Chant when booked, and then he has Boon of Speed. We just talked about this same ability essentially with High Katun, increased speed, fills the turn meter by 15%, and he has a 3-hitter on the A1, which makes him useful against Fire Knight, especially with the new affinities. And he's a very fast champion at 106. You can use him anywhere in the game, and I mean that, pretty literally. You can use him anywhere in the game. Very, very, very versatile champion. Same thing with Coldheart, though. You can use her anywhere in the game, too. I'm stuck on the Coldheart comparison, right? Same thing with Reliquary Tender as well. She's void affinity. You can use her anywhere. And then number 1, to the surprise of nobody, it's Kale. So Kale does have the AoE Acid Rain, extra 50% chance of inflicting a crit, fills a turn meter of this champion by 25% for each enemy killed. Great for campaign farming, great for anywhere with that turn meter fill. And then he has the weak version of poison on the A1, the strong version of poison on the A2 at a 50% clip. Very, very, very good champion because of the poison. I mean, he can out-nuke, or I should say out-damage Elhain, Galek, and Aethel, the other starting champions, because of all the poison damage that he's bringing to the table. Makes him immediately viable for clan boss, all the way up to really Ultra Nightmare, I guess, if you wanted to use him there, and in a variety of other areas in the game, including obviously Dragon's Lair, anybody who's susceptible to poison. So there it is, guys. Those are the top 20 most popular champions inside the game. Any surprises in there for you guys? I hope you enjoyed this video, something a little bit different, but I actually personally found it very interesting to see, who people are searching, especially the newer champions like Rector Droth and Deacon Armstrong, who are kind of making their way onto the scene. Who was the biggest snub? Who were you surprised that nobody is looking, at in the game? I was kind of surprised that there were no more previous fusion champions or other daily login reward champions, or even Doom Tower, not normal mode. I was gonna say easy, not easy, Ash, easy, bro. Normal mode like Archmage Helmet. Either way, guys, that's the list. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. I appreciate you guys, and as always, take care, guys.